What's up, guys? So did you know there's such a thing as a business checking account? Why wouldn't everyone just put all their finances into their personal checking account in private practice? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the advantages of having a business checking account and walk you through the process of opening one. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. So, business checking accounts. What even is that? When I first started out, I didn't know what business checking accounts were, but fortunately my husband nudged me to open one, and I'm so glad that I listened to him because it was a great choice. If you're scratching your head wondering why do I need to go through the hassle of opening a business checking account, this video is for you. There are lots of advantages and it's not as complicated as it seems. First, let's go over the differences between a personal checking account and a business checking account. The reality is that practically speaking, there aren't very many differences between personal checking accounts and business checking accounts. The primary difference is that banks often require proof that you are running your own small business in order to open that business checking account. So depending on the bank, they might require proof of a city business license or maybe your EIN or something else like that in order to show that you actually own your own business. But otherwise, the two loosely operate the same as each other. Second, let's clear up whether it's required that all therapists in private practice have a business checking account. The short answer is it depends on what kind of business entity you've decided on. If you're not familiar with what business entities are, I have an entire video on the subject, so go ahead and watch it up here or find it in the description box. It is important to sort that out before you open your business checking account. In short, sole proprietors are not required to have a separate business checking account, while all other business entities are required to have a separate account for their business. However, if you are a sole proprietor, I really do recommend that you still have a separate business checking account because there's still so many advantages to you. Here are some of the awesome benefits of having a separate business checking account in private practice. Number one, easily keep track of your cash flow. Now, I don't know about you, but if I dumped all of my income and expenses into my personal checking account, I'd have a really tough time keeping track of what money was going in and out related to my business. Having a separate business checking account makes it a heck of a lot easier to do all your bookkeeping. Number two, stay on top of what expenses you can deduct from taxes. Yep, you heard me. Most of your expenses in private practice can be deducted from your taxes. Win, whoop, whoop. Win, whoop, whoop. So why risk potentially missing out on some of those deductions when you can keep track of all of them in their own separate account? Number three, have an awesome paper trail for the IRS just in case you ever get audited. Even though I don't wish this upon anyone, it's always a possibility that you may get audited. And if you have a separate business checking account, it makes it a lot easier to have a paper trail for IRS to see what expenses you've deducted for your business. Number four, reap the benefits of certain business accounts. Depending on what type of account you open, it may make it easier to qualify for certain business loans, or you can open a credit line where maybe you get more cash back for certain categories that you spend more on for your business. Number five, make it easier to protect your personal assets in case of a lawsuit. If you're a sole proprietor, your personal assets are at risk even if you're getting sued for something that happened related to your business. However, if you show that those finances are completely separate from your personal assets, then maybe it might just give you a better chance to protect your personal assets in case of a lawsuit. And number six, have your office address listed on your checks instead of your personal address. This might just be me, but I personally feel having business checks look a lot more professional, and I feel more comfortable knowing that my office address is listed on them instead of my personal address. Similarly, if I'm paying for something online related to my business, using my business debit or my business credit card, I can use my office address as the billing address, further keeping my personal life separate from my business life. So now that I've hopefully sold you on opening a business checking account, how do you choose which bank is best to go with? Now, if you prefer to avoid the extra hassle of doing more research on this, you could just go to your personal bank and ask if they have a business account available and open one with them. The biggest factor to be aware of here is that some banks do charge a monthly fee for having a business checking account, so make sure you're aware of any fees before signing up. Some banks only require that you maintain a minimum balance in your checking account in order to avoid that fee, so you might like to look into that a little bit further before you open one. Personally, I went through Chase Bank, which is also where I do my personal banking, so it was quite simple. They do require a minimum balance of $1,500 in your checking account in order to avoid a small monthly fee, but otherwise it's completely free. When I went to sign up, I did bring evidence of my city business license and any other paperwork I had showing that I worked in the office location that I did as a therapist. It took me about 40 minutes or so to get my accounts all set up, and I opened both a checking and credit card account, and that was over 4 years ago, and I haven't had to go back into the bank since. Well, I hope this video gave you some good reasons to think about opening a business checking account. Keep in mind that I am neither a professional accountant nor a lawyer, so these are just some of my personal thoughts. Until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. These are my monies, swimming across the lake.